everyone. We are discussing about the poem The Lotus Eaters, written by the great Victorian poet Alfred Lord Tennyson. The poet describes in this poem Odysseus and his crew who, after eating the lotus fruit of the lotus plant, they are like unconscious in their lives, and they did not want to go ahead, and they did not want to return at their home. They want to live at the land of the lotus eaters forever in their life. They are thinking that they have no means in their lives. They want to rest in their lives now. Let us start the poem. How sweet it were, hearing the downward stream, with half shut eyes, ever to seem, falling asleep in a half dream, to dream and dream like yonder amber light, which will not leave the mirror bush on the height. In the fifth stanza of the chorus describes how sweet a life it would be to lay around in a half dream all time. The speakers are seeing all of the good parts of a completely simple life and none of the bad parts of the idealness. The men are dreaming here of a life in which they can hear each other's whispered speech while they are laying around the eating the lotus day by day. To hear each other's whispered speech and eating the lotus day by day, to watch the crisping ripples on the beach and tender curving lines of creamy spray, to lay our hearts and spirit holy. This is the only task which they have to complete, and more they eat, the more satisfied with their situation they will become. The men will watching crispy ripples or waves washing up on the beach and admire the curving lines of the spray which it creates. They will commit their bodies, hearts, and spirits to melancholy and spend their rest of the time brooding over the memories of the past. They think that this is the best place where they want to live, and they want to see the ripening the fruits and waves falling on the beach. To the influence of mild minded melancholy, to muse and brood the life again in memory, with whose old faces of our infancy heaped over with a mound of grass, two handsful of white dust shut in an urn of brass. They will remember all those that have passed away since they were born, and that is now buried under a mound of grass, and or cremated and shut up in an urn of brass. They will not be bothered by death though, and they will know they are living the best possible version of their lives here on the island. Dear is the memory of our bedded lives, and dear the last embraces of our wives, and their warm tears, but all hath suffered change. For slowly, surely now our household heats are cold. Our sons inherit us, our looks are strange. The man continues on saying that they will not forget their past life, their wedding life. Their wedded life will remain dear to them, as will the last moment they spent with their wives. They are not going to forget everything that used to matter to them, but are accepting of the fact that there is nothing they can do to get back to how things were. Their household are probably cold, they say, and their sons all grown up, having inherited their father's look. And we also grown up towards the old age, and our looks are changed from the time when we come from the home, and we should come like ghosts to trouble joy, or else the island princes overbold have eat our sustenance, and the minstrel sings before them of 10 years war in Troy and our great deeds as half forgotten things. If they did return, they would bring nothing but trouble to the home. They have been gone for so long that they do not believe things would ever go back to the way they were. Or they state things could not have gone so peacefully at home while they were fighting in Troy for 10 years. Island princes could have been overbold and taken over their homes. The man's deed could have been forgotten and their names smeared. The minstrel would sings of before the people of their kingdom of 10 years war in Troy, and our great deeds they would uh, sing about our great deeds. Is there confusion in the little idol? Let what is broken so remain. The gods are hard to reconcile. It is it is hard to settle order. Once again, there is confusion worse than death. They have no intention of fixing this state of things if it is indeed the case. It is indeed the case, they are fine to let it stay broken, as it is too hard to regain order once it is lost. Still, they believe that they would only make things worse. Even if things have not gone well from the start. Trouble on trouble. Pain or pain. Long labor unto aged breath. Sore task to hearts worn out by many years, and eyes grown dim with gazing on the pilot stars. The sailors who are lying on the land of lotus eaters, saying that they have only troubles and pains in their lives. They are struggling before 10 years, and they have now become very old, and they had led a very laborious life because they had fought many wars, and we are continuing in the ocean. So our eyes became dim with gazing on the pilot stars, because when the boat uh, is run in the water, they only they go forward while seeing the pilot stars. But prompt on the words of Amaranth and Molly, how sweet, while warm air lulls us, blowing lowly, with half dropped eyelid, still beneath a heaven dark and holy. In the seventh stanza of the choric song, the men once more reiterate what the alternative to return home and creating more chaos would be. They could and want to just stay here, prompt on the beds of amaranth and molly, two different types of that is two different types of European plants. Molly is said to have had magic properties. They will relax with half dropped eyelid and spend their days watching the river and his water from their purple hill. To watch the long bright river drawing slowly, they would remain here while watching the bright river falling slowly, his waters from the purple hill, that is falling his water from the purple hill, to hear the dewy echoes calling from cave to cave through the thick twinned vine. And they would hear the dewy echo calling, that is coming from cave to cave uh, through the thick twinned vine, to watch the emerald colored water falling through many a woven acanthus wreath divine, only to hear and see the far off sparkling brine, and only to hear was sweet stretched out beneath the pine. The sailors and Odysseus did not want to go home, and they want to live at this place of lotus eaters forever. They say that they would spend their life by watching the emerald color water falling through many a acanthus with divine, and they would hear and see the far off sparkling brine. They would enjoy their life here, and they would hear all the sounds were, which were sweet to them, and they would when they tired by watching all these things, they would stretch themselves beneath the pine tree. So the people say that the sea will be to them just see, just sight in the distance. There will be no more sailing or dangers they have to face now. They will be guaranteed safety and endless days of gazing on the rivers of this land. And so this is the fourth video of this poem. I hope you understand the poem. Thank you so much.